point, and it's told through flashbacks. Johnny Knoxville's character, he's an old man. He's talking with his granddaughter, telling her about the story of the park that he owned. And the cool thing about this movie is Knoxville does all of his stunts, as always. He's not going to use CGI. He actually got severe injuries while making this, 4 concussions, and his eyeball actually came out of its socket.
Oh my God!
Yeah, he's a madman. There's one scene that's shown in the trailer when he's on the chin-up bar, and he's kind of just like pulling himself up, and the chin-up bar, falls down while he's on it, and that was supposed to obviously release, but he kind of overturned, and the chin-up bar hit all of his teeth, and his
oh my God!
He lost his front teeth, and his eyeball popped out of his socket.
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But
did they show it in the movie?
No, that's actually not shown in the movie. There's outtakes at the end of the film. They don't even show the eye socket thing. Maybe they'll be on the extra of DVD, but they show some cool outtakes, which I was hoping they would.
Disgusting.
He's had worse injuries, I think, in his real life. But before filming this movie, he was doing a documentary on Evel Knievel, and he tried to do a backflip off of a motorcycle, and the motorcycle just went flying in the air, and it came down, and it landed right on his junk, and he severely injured that really badly. I think that's probably one of the worst injuries he's had. But, he's a tough son of a gun. And the movie wasn't that funny, which is surprising.
Oh, that's upsetting.
But I enjoyed it. I thought the movie had a lot of heart. There were scenes.
And that's all that matters.
It is all that matters. I was actually tearing up at times.
Really?
Yeah. And I'll say this: do I recommend the movie? Absolutely not. I wouldn't say go out and see it. It's not a movie you need to see unless you really like the Jackass crew, because Chris Pontius is in there, who's part of the crew, and Knoxville's the star. So I want to support those guys because they've made me laugh for countless hours and years.
Yeah, Jackass movies were always solidly funny.
The hardest I've ever laughed at in a movie theater was when I saw Jackass 2 in theaters. That was the funniest movie ever. And, I want to support this movie. And like I said, not the funniest. I wouldn't recommend it, but there's certainly worse movies out there, and I enjoyed it. It's not a movie I'd see again, though.
Oh, that's upsetting.
And the other movie I saw, Upgrade, was the best movie of 2018 so far.
Really?
It was. Holy cow. This movie, they don't show too many commercials for it. I know Joe says they do. I don't see the commercials. They don't
There's
show
a bunch on TV.
Yeah, but it's not promoted like, a Solo or...
Oh, absolutely not that much. But, if you go... On some channels, every 30 minutes, you'll see a commercial for it.
I saw nothing of it. I saw a few trailers before movies. And I go to the movies a lot, as you guys know, and I barely remember seeing previews for this. And I went on Rotten Tomatoes because I was so bored this weekend because the weather stunk. So I was like, what am I going to do today? And I saw on Rotten Tomatoes that this movie Upgrade had an 85% from the critics and a 90% audience score. So I was like, what is this? And
I don't even think that's the highest rated movie that came out.
For this weekend there was.
Oh, something in the movie that's coming out this weekend. Then
quick,
the movie Hereditary was at 100%.
Hereditary looks so good. I can't wait for that. But Upgrade's about. I don't want to give too much about it. I think.
Yeah, no, give it a little bit.
I think the less you know, because I'm seeing it again with my buddy on Wednesday, and I told him don't look because he never heard of the movie either. I said don't look anything up about this because I think you'll just like it regardless. The premise is a guy.
Great.
Listen, I'd say tune. If you want to know nothing about this movie, tune out for the next 2 minutes, and I'll explain the trailer.
I'll explain the trailer. Can't you say and this is this is
in the trailer? But I think if you didn't know the key element to this part, I think it would make the movie so much better.
I mean,
but it's in the trailer.
Honestly, I think all you have to say is this is basically like a RoboCop.
This is RoboCop meets Blade Runner meets 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's about technology. It's about revenge. It's like John Wick. in certain aspects. It's funny. It's got a dark sense of humor. The action is unreal. The acting is off the charts. You know, the villain in this movie is really, really good, but the lead is great. The female in it is super cute. The technology that, you know, is presented, because it takes place in the future, it's got a very cool futuristic setting. I love the special effects. Basically, everything about this movie was amazing. And the ending, you know, it was not your typical Hollywood movie ending, and I loved it for that. To me, I couldn't recommend this movie more. It's easily my favorite film of 2018. I think it's up there, you know, sort of like a Logan from last year. It's up there with, you know, the John Wick movies as far as action movies go. Definitely check it out. If you like a hard R-rated movie, check out Upgrade in theaters right now. Give that movie support. I'm actually going to pay for it.
Wow.
Yeah, after the fact.
After the fact. I really enjoyed this movie.
You are like, just why
I'm living
why
on
are
the
you
edge.
like this?
I went to the movies, and I'll tell you this: they didn't even have the snack that I wanted. I waited the whole day. I planned seeing this movie, and I wanted this snack, and they didn't have it. I was so upset, and I got this other snack that didn't live up to the hype. But I'm glad that the movie, you know, lived up to its Rotten Tomatoes score. So check it out. Action Point, I would say, you know, I gave a 50 out of 100. Upgrade, I would give a 94 out of 100. 94 percentile.
Wow.
It was that good. I'm telling you. Check it out. Everything. The music, again, was another, you know, thing that really, you know, pulled you into the movie. It's got this weird synthesizer type of rock to it. Just everything about this movie is awesome. So check it out. Upgrade in theaters now.
I'm down with it.
I think all of us should go.
Yeah,
I
I'd be down.
I need to see it again.
Yeah, I'll pay for a movie.
There you go.
Yeah. Sure you will.
All right, and in other movie news, there's some castings happening. So the kid from Deadpool 2, the little fat kid, Fire Fist, I think his name was.
Insensitive.
Eh.
That's insensitive, Justin.
He's
going
gonna
to do that.
He's gonna be cast in the new Godzilla vs. King Kong movie, which I'm excited for.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know. Is he playing King Kong?
Good for you, Fire Fist.
Maybe he's playing Baby King Kong.
Oh my God.
You know, I just got through saying good for you. And here, maybe he's playing the monkey.
Oh no,
he's
we can't.
a big boy.
We can't say that though, because Roseanne got fired for that too. She did.
And we'll be right back.
Roseanne's an idiot.
Yeah, no, terrible.
By the way, you're listening to
Nerdvana.
I think.
to Nerdvana, the voice of Nassau Community College. Before we got canceled,
Yes.
my name is Yoder, here with Cole Murray and Justin Greenberg. So go ahead, Justin. What were you saying?
Well, I'm excited for this because, you know, I love the idea of Godzilla versus King Kong. You know, it's been done before in the 60s. They had King Kong versus Godzilla. I've always been a fan of the Godzilla films growing up. Unfortunately, the two American Godzilla movies that we've gotten have been absolute garbage. Matthew Broderick starring 1998, directed by Roland Emmerich film is just, you know, a travesty. I'll watch it anytime it's on TV, but it's really, really bad. And the other Godzilla movie that came out, I want to say in 2014, was just very slow. You barely saw Godzilla. It was depressing. It wasn't, you know, when Godzilla was on screen, it was cool. But, you know, unfortunately, I didn't care for it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I saw that movie because I do love Godzilla, and it was bad. You know, it was just like, it was kind of like, remember when Cloverfield came out?
Yes.
You barely saw the monster at all. Like, it was that.
Well, that was the point of Cloverfield.
That's stupid.
The whole point of Cloverfield is that even though the monster is, like, of course, the big bad, you know, it's what actually goes down if you were a regular human being trying to run around in this giant thing.
But I don't think that's how Godzilla was advertised.
No.
When I saw the trailers for Godzilla, you know,
they showed basically the entire time Godzilla was on stage.
Yeah.
On stage.
That's a big stage.
on Broadway this summer.
Hugh Jackman is Godzilla.
I would pay a severe amount of money to
There's
see
a
that.
Golden Globe.
And you're damn right. Shoop gonna give it to you. let's continue.
You see that, folks? We always come full circle here.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah. We have fun here, though. We poke fun at each other. We poke fun at everything. And
we do.
This show is great. I love Nerdvana on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Not gonna lie, Mondays are my favorite days of the week.
Monday, I always dread it, but then when I get here, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I dread Mondays from 8 a.m. till 12 p.m. and then from 4 p.m. onwards.
Now, did you guys happen to see Kong Skull Island?
No.
Yes.
That's something I wanted to see.
I thoroughly enjoyed this. I think it was the complete opposite of Godzilla. Because
I heard it was fantastic.
They showed a lot of Kong. Listen, it was more of a generic type of action movie as far as, the other Kong movies have this, this mythology and this very serious tone.
So it was like your general kaiju movie.
It was,
I'm sorry, what?
A general kaiju movie.
Yeah.
Do you know what a kaiju movie is?
Yeah, can you explain that?
Do you know what a kaiju is?
I'm asking if you could explain it.
It's a giant monster. That's a Japanese word for giant monster.
Right, because we're in America.
Giant monster movies have their own classification as kaiju movies because they started really gaining popularity in Japan.
Just saying. Just wanted that to be explained. Go ahead,
for the non-Japanese listeners.
Just for Joe.
Like me.
You could have just said it could you explain that for our less informed audience?
I know what you're talking about, but for the audience, you need to explain this for. So Kong Skull Island, I enjoyed it. It delivered basically what I thought it was going to deliver, and the thing about Godzilla versus King Kong, I mean, Godzilla is the size of skyscrapers, and, you've seen the King Kong movies, and he's climbing the Empire State Building, and it takes, several minutes for him to do that.
Clearly, if King Kong is climbing the skyscrapers, he has what it takes to beat a skyscraper.
I heard a story about King Kong.
Uh-huh.
He was in Hong Kong playing ping pong with his ding-dong. Is that true? Maybe that will be in this upcoming...
And the ball bouncing off all the metal went bing bong.
Now, maybe that will happen in this Kong Skull Island sequel. So... We got a Godzilla.
God, I hope so.
Because they don't show that. I've always wondered that. And I've actually mentioned this before. Where is it?
What?
Where is King Kong's Ding Dong?
That likes to go bing bong?
I have never seen it in all the movies.
Could you imagine being the person in the board of developers meeting? All right. So listen, guys, we got a lot of complaints about the last King Kong movie. We have to animate King Kong's Ding Dong. And the next movie must take place in Hong Kong where he can play ping pong.
And then we'll have Trump animate Bing Bong. We'll be all happy.
And at the end, they sing song. We'll turn it into a musical.
Oh, with Hugh Jackman.
With Hugh Jackman.
So we got a Godzilla sequel coming out. I'm not sure when that is. I believe it's maybe 2019, and then 2020 is going to be the... all right, let me read this, actually. The 2020 film serves as both a sequel to last year's Kong Skull Island, as well as 2014's Godzilla and the forthcoming Godzilla sequel. So I'm guessing the Godzilla sequel comes out next year in 2019, and then 2020 we get... these two facing off against each other. Yes, that's exactly what it says, actually. And
then it kicks off the big monster universe.
Yeah, I think we're actually going to get something like that, because at the end of King Kong Skull Island, or Kong Skull Island, rather, you kind of see pictures of Mothra and Ghidorah, who is a three-headed monster in the Godzilla universe. So I think they're going to be appearing in the next Godzilla movie, and I think
awesome.
They kind of say in King Kong or Kong Skull Island that Kong is not fully grown yet. So I think that's going to explain how he's able to even face something like Godzilla, because Godzilla, like we said, is the size of a skyscraper, and King Kong, is not nearly that size. And that movie takes place in the 70s, the Kong Skull Island. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm super excited to see, these two titans face off on the big screen. And other movie news, Jamie Foxx has been cast as Spawn in Todd McFarlane's new Spawn movie, which I'm super excited for. To me, Spawn was, the 1990s summed up. He was just this edgy, raw, not Marvel, not DC character. He's the biggest superhero to not come from, either the Marvel or DC universe, and to have an actor, with the capabilities of Jamie Foxx, who, has done a lot of bad movies, but he's also an Oscar winner and has done some really awesome stuff like Django and Ray and Collateral Damage with
He's
Tom
also
Cruise.
in Baby Driver, too.
Yes. So
Fantastic movie.
I'm excited to see this because Spawn, like I said, is one of my favorite heroes. And although I like the 1990s Spawn movie, it clearly hasn't aged too well, and it's rated PG-13. And Spawn is such an R-rated, franchise.